Hey, Raiders Nation, can you feel it? Week 1 is finally here, and the energy around Las Vegas is absolutely electric. The offseason has flown by, and now we're standing at the doorstep of what could be an incredibly defining year for this team. The Raiders made some moves that are stirring up conversations across the league, and if you haven't been following every little update, don't worry, I've got you covered. Yesterday alone, the team shook things up with 4 roster changes that could have ripple effects both on the field and in the locker room. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means for the Silver and Black as they head into their opener. First up, let's talk about Brian Omoa. Now, if you've been keeping an eye on college prospects over the past few years, you might remember Omoa when he came out of Oklahoma. A third-round pick by the Minnesota Vikings, 66th overall, he was lauded for his athleticism and speed. He spent a few seasons in Minnesota, but never really found his footing, bouncing around a bit between practice squads, most recently with the Titans, before landing here at the Raiders. On paper, some of his numbers might raise eyebrows. Grades in pass rush and coverage haven't exactly screamed instant impact player, but the way I see it, there's a lot more nuance here. His overall grade might have been low in limited snaps, but when you watch the tape, what stands out is his raw explosiveness. He moves sideline to sideline faster than most linebackers in the league. His pursuit speed is elite, and there's a twitch in his trigger that makes him a nightmare in open space. Now, is he ready to start and play as a lead linebacker on Sunday? Probably not. He's still developing, still learning the nuances of NFL-level play, but that's exactly why the Raiders snagged him for the practice squad. This isn't just about depth. It's about adding a player who can elevate the special teams, who can come in and give the starters a push in practice, and who might one day grow into a more prominent role. The beauty of a player like Omoa is that he has the athletic ceiling to surprise people. Coaches love a guy like this because the tools are there. You just have to refine them, teach him discipline and coverage, and let him gain experience against NFL speed. When you combine that with his special teams upside, this is a move that makes perfect sense. Next, the Raiders brought in quarterback Jeff Driscoll. Now, this is a name that some fans might not immediately recognize, but he's a seasoned guy with experience on multiple NFL rosters, including the 49ers, Bengals, Lions, Broncos, Texans, Cardinals, and Browns. He's bounced around, sure, but that breadth of experience in different systems is actually a huge asset, especially for a quarterback 3. He's here to learn the offense, contribute in practice, and be ready if the unexpected happens. There's also an interesting layer to this move when you think about Cam Miller and Aiden O'Connell. The team now has more options at the backup spots, and Driscoll's presence could impact future decisions on who takes the field when injuries inevitably strike. He's a guy who knows the nuances of the position, and even if he never throws a pass on Sunday, his knowledge and versatility bring a quiet stability to the roster. On the flip side, the Raiders made the tough decision to waive linebacker Matt Jones. Watching preseason tape, it became clear that while Jones is an exceptional athlete, coverage assignments were often his Achilles heel. That's a shame because the athleticism is there, the motor is there, but when the ball is in the air and you're responsible for a man in coverage, every mistake is magnified. It's a difficult call for any team, but the Raiders had to weigh potential against immediate reliability. And with Omoa stepping in, the scales tipped. Both are athletes with speed and range, but Omoa brings a slightly different skill set that fits the current vision for the defense, especially in special teams and situational packages. Safety Trey Taylor also saw his time with the Raiders come to an end. Drafted in the 7th round, he faced the uphill battle of adjusting to a new regime, competing with multiple newcomers at his position, and trying to carve out a role in a crowded secondary. The coaches clearly evaluated the depth chart, the matchups, and the potential impact in training camp and preseason, and the decision was made to move on. It's never easy to see a young player go, but in a league as competitive as the NFL, every roster spot is precious, and every decision is about maximizing the team's chances on Sunday. Now, all these moves tell a bigger story about how the Raiders are approaching this season. They're blending youth with experience, athleticism with strategic depth, and they're thinking not just about the immediate games, but about how to build a team that can adapt and thrive over the long haul. Omoa's raw talent, Driscoll's experience, the tough calls on Jones and Taylor, they all fit into a broader philosophy that values versatility, depth, and readiness. The front office is clearly prioritizing players who can contribute in multiple ways, who can step up when called upon, and who have the potential to grow into bigger roles as the season unfolds. As fans, it's easy to get caught up in the names, the stats, and the grades, but the real story here is about opportunity and fit. Omoa might not light up the stat sheet immediately, but in a few weeks, after reps on special teams and a deeper understanding of the defensive schemes, he could become an X factor. Driscoll might not start a single game, but his presence in practice, mentoring younger quarterbacks, and being ready in emergencies adds a layer of security that's invaluable. Every waiver and signing is part of a larger puzzle, and when you connect the dots, you start to see a team that's methodically shaping itself for both Week 1 and the weeks beyond. And let's not forget the timing. Week 1 is here, and the Raiders are preparing to face the Patriots, a team with its own injury questions and uncertainties. As we dive into the matchups, the depth chart decisions we just talked about suddenly feel a lot more significant. How will Omoa's speed and pursuit impact the Patriots' running game? Can Driscoll's presence in practice push the starting quarterbacks to sharpen their reads and timing? How will the secondary hold up, especially with recent moves at linebacker and safety? These aren't just hypothetical questions. They're the kinds of real-world scenarios that will define whether this team is ready to compete at a high level from the first snap. The excitement is palpable, the stakes are high, and every roster move, no matter how small it might seem, has a story behind it. Raiders fans, we're not just watching numbers on a spreadsheet. We're seeing a team being molded, a team that's trying to balance potential with performance, athleticism with technique, and strategy with execution. And that, my friends, is what makes this season feel so electric even before the first whistle blows. All right, Raiders Nation, let's dive deeper because it's not just about the roster moves anymore. It's about the stage they're stepping onto and the challenges that await in Week 1. The Raiders are facing a Patriots team that, on paper, looks formidable, but there are cracks forming, and those cracks could be opportunities if the Raiders execute properly. One of the biggest storylines heading into this matchup is the situation at cornerback for New England. Christian Gonzalez, arguably the top defender on that team and a cornerstone of their secondary, has been battling a nagging hamstring injury that he's carried since early training camp. That's right, he's been dealing with it for months, trying to push through, and even now, as the Raiders prepare to step on a Gillette Stadium turf, there's no certainty he'll be on the field. A hamstring injury like that is tricky. It's not the kind of thing you want to rush, and with a cornerback of Gonzalez's caliber, any limitation can be exploited. For the Raiders, that means opportunities in the passing game, chances to stretch the field, and the potential to test the depth and adaptability of the Patriots' defense right out of the gate. Speaking of exploiting opportunities, let's circle back to the Raiders' offensive unit, because this team has some players who thrive when they're given space and mismatches. Geno Smith at quarterback is one of those guys who can make quick decisions under pressure, and pairing him with receivers who can find seams in the coverage is going to be critical, especially if a corner like Gonzalez is limited or out entirely. The Raiders' receiving core has been preparing for every scenario, running drills designed to read the defense on the fly, adjust routes, and capitalize on any hesitation. It's the kind of preparation that doesn't always show up in highlight reels, but it's foundational for a Week 1 game where timing, chemistry, and split-second reads make all the difference. Now, the Raiders have also been keeping an eye on special teams, and that's where roster additions like Brian Omoa really start to shine. Special teams often get overlooked in the excitement of game day, but these plays can swing momentum and set the tone early. A well-timed tackle, a perfectly executed block, or a coverage unit that's disciplined can flip field position, force turnovers, and change the dynamic of a game. Omoa's speed and athleticism make him a weapon in this regard, and if the Raiders can maximize his potential in these high-impact moments, it could translate into meaningful advantages when the clock starts. Meanwhile, the Patriots are facing their own challenges beyond just Gonzalez. Injuries across the roster have forced adjustments, and that uncertainty trickles down into every play call, every formation, every snap. When a defense is missing a key player, the quarterback has the chance to probe, test, and adjust mid-drive. For Geno Smith and the Raiders' offensive coordinators, this is a chess match. Every formation is calculated to expose weaknesses. Every motion is designed to create mismatches, and every pre-snap adjustment is a signal to read the defense and exploit it. It's the kind of preparation that can make the difference between a slow start and seizing control early in the game. The Raiders' own secondary is also a story in progress. With the recent departures at safety and linebacker, there are gaps to fill, but there's also opportunity. Young players stepping into these roles are eager to prove themselves, and their energy, anticipation, and willingness to learn could be a secret weapon. It's a balancing act. The coaching staff must ensure that these players are confident enough to take risks and aggressive enough to make plays without overextending themselves or leaving the defense vulnerable. Every practice snap in the past weeks has been about building that trust, refining communication, and perfecting reads so that when the game begins, there's a clear understanding of assignments, zones, and responsibilities. And let's not forget about the mental game. The Raiders coaching staff has been emphasizing focus, resilience, and adaptability, which is especially crucial against a team like the Patriots, known for their discipline and situational awareness. Mental preparation is just as important as physical readiness, because football isn't played on paper, it's played in real time, at full speed, with emotions running high. The matchup against the Patriots is also a test of adjustments. Belichick-coached teams are always dynamic, often unpredictable, and rarely static. The Raiders' preparation has to account for multiple scenarios, different coverages, blitz packages, and defensive shifts. Every offensive play will require split-second decision-making, whether it's a quick release by the quarterback, a read-and-react route by a receiver, or a blocking adjustment on the line. Likewise, defensively, the Raiders must remain vigilant against the Patriots' scheming. Anticipating tendencies, reading keys, and reacting in real time is critical, especially given the absence or limitation of key players like Gonzalez. This is a game of chess at full speed, and the Raiders are aiming to be several moves ahead. And there's the broader storyline, the excitement, the anticipation, and the narrative of Week 1. The Raiders aren't just trying to start the season with a win. They're trying to assert themselves, showcase the depth and talent they've cultivated, and set a tone for the rest of the season. Players who are added, like Omoa and Driscoll, are part of that bigger picture. They may not start, they may not have the flashy highlight plays immediately, but they are integral to the team's ecosystem, supporting the starters, pushing the competition in practice, and being ready to step in if circumstances demand it. Football at this level is about preparation meeting opportunity, and these players represent both. From a fan perspective, it's exhilarating. The silver and black are coming off a busy offseason, and now we finally get to see how the pieces fit together under game conditions. The narratives are rich, an inexperienced linebacker stepping into a key special teams role, a veteran quarterback providing stability behind the starters, a secondary adjusting to new personnel, and a Patriots defense missing a cornerstone player. Every detail counts, every play matters, and every snap will be scrutinized by coaches, players, and fans alike. This is football at its most intense, most compelling, and most unpredictable. As the Raiders gear up for the opener, the focus is crystal clear. Execute, adapt, and take advantage of every opportunity. Players are aware of the stakes, coaches have prepared tirelessly, and fans are ready for the roller coaster that is a Week 1 NFL game. This isn't just about one match. It's about establishing a standard, asserting identity, and setting the tone for a season that promises drama, excitement, and high-stakes competition. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the countdown to kickoff has never felt more real. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have erupted across the NFL landscape after the Raiders reportedly pulled off what many insiders are calling the most audacious signing in league history, securing the services of star wide receiver Tyreek Hill. According to sources close to the team, This move is not just about talent acquisition, but a seismic shift in the Raiders' strategic vision, signaling a bold intent to dominate the league in ways fans have only dreamed of. The speculation around this deal has fueled endless debates across sports media, with analysts dissecting every angle, from Hill's unparalleled speed and playmaking ability to the astronomical figures rumored to be involved in the contract. It's being suggested that the Raiders' front office has committed to a long-term plan where Hill is not merely a weapon, but a central piece around which the entire offense will revolve. Enthusiastic whispers hint that Hill's presence could redefine the Raiders' offensive identity, turning them into a franchise that opponents will dread facing week after week. Pundits are already envisioning a season where every defensive coordinator must reinvent schemes just to slow down a player whose agility and acceleration defy conventional tracking. And the very possibility of such dominance is generating buzz not only among fans, but within locker rooms and boardrooms across the league. Rumors indicate that the deal might involve compensation and incentives so complex that it has insiders scratching their heads, with some suggesting this is a masterclass in NFL contract negotiations. While official confirmation remains pending, whispers of the financial magnitude of the agreement have only intensified speculation, with sources hinting at clauses that could set new benchmarks for future star acquisitions. Tyreek Hill, known for his explosive plays and uncanny ability to change games in an instant, is reportedly expected to integrate immediately into the Raiders' offensive schemes, potentially transforming quarterback play and forcing defenses into constant overhauls. Analysts speculate that Hill's signing could usher in a new era of high-octane football in Las Vegas, creating a ripple effect that might influence league-wide strategies, prompting other franchises to pursue similar high-profile acquisitions. Meanwhile, social media is ablaze with fan reactions, conspiracy theories, and playful predictions, as every highlight from Hill's past performances is dissected and compared to potential scenarios with the Raiders. Coaches and former players are reportedly weighing in, discussing how Hill's unique skill set could challenge traditional defensive paradigms, emphasizing that this is more than just a player acquisition. It could be a blueprint for a new style of professional football, one that emphasizes speed, unpredictability, and relentless aggression in offensive execution. The ongoing chatter surrounding the signing has also sparked discussions about team culture and leadership dynamics within the Raiders, with insiders speculating that Hill's competitive drive could catalyze a transformation in locker room morale and work ethic. Some rumors suggest that veteran players are already motivated by the idea of competing alongside one of the league's most electrifying talents, while younger players are allegedly inspired to elevate their own performance standards in anticipation of Hill's arrival. Conversations among league executives reportedly revolve around the ripple effect this acquisition might have on the salary cap, team building, and overall market value, suggesting that the Raiders may be setting a precedent that could redefine franchise ambitions. Fans, too, are reportedly responding in droves, with merchandise sales and ticket interest spiking amid the excitement, creating a palpable sense of anticipation for the upcoming season. Industry insiders whisper that this move, if finalized as rumored, might influence coaching strategies across the NFL, prompting a reassessment of defensive formations, player matchups, and game day planning, as the sheer potential of Hill's integration into the Raiders system is seen as unprecedented. Beyond immediate game implications, sources claim that Hill's signing could shift the narrative around franchise identity, signaling to the broader sports world that the Raiders are now willing to make bold, headline-grabbing decisions in pursuit of supremacy, elevating the team's profile far beyond the confines of Las Vegas. If the rumors hold true, the impact of Tyreek Hill joining the Raiders extends far beyond statistics and highlights, affecting league narratives, fan engagement, and the psychology of competition in ways that are hard to quantify. Speculation abounds about how opponents will respond, whether defensive coordinators can develop effective countermeasures, and how the presence of a player of Hill's caliber could force entire teams to rethink their drafting and training priorities. Conversations within the Raiders organization reportedly revolve around integrating Hill seamlessly into existing systems while leveraging his unique abilities to create a competitive edge in critical moments. Meanwhile, social media, podcasts, and sports networks are allegedly collaborating to predict every possible scenario, from explosive scoring drives to record-breaking individual performances, intensifying the aura of anticipation around the rumored deal. Fans, commentators, and industry insiders alike are reportedly captivated by the potential for this signing to redefine what it means to build a championship-caliber team in the modern NFL, emphasizing speed, versatility, and adaptability in ways previously seen as aspirational rather than achievable. As speculation continues to mount, the overarching sentiment appears to be one of cautious excitement, a collective sense that the Raiders may have executed a move that is not only historic but potentially transformative, elevating the conversation about the intersection of talent, strategy, and ambition in professional football to entirely new heights. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.